is Steve Morley. I live here in Spanish Fork, and I have this Lego castle display. Probably my favorite part is the cathedral kind of back in the corner there. This actually took quite a while to build, and the reason is because I didn't have anything to base it off of. And I was at the Lego store. The Lego store has a pick-a-brick wall where you can walk up to the wall and you can pick loose parts and fill them full in a cup and just buy the loose parts. Well, on the pillar, those are actually engine blocks that are turned vertically. And so I stacked them all together and I said, ooh, this could make some kind of cool pillar, right? And so I started with that. That's where it came from. So I went home, I built the pillars, and then I kind of angled them so it looked like they were rounded. So then I built the door with the cross on the top. And then I thought, well, this is going to be a huge cathedral, but cathedrals are massive, right? So, like, how am I going to make this? Well, it's got to have flying buttresses to support the walls. So I used roller coaster track for that. And then about 6 months later, after I was starting to kind of build the walls and kind of get the shape of it, I was at the Lego store again. And I thought, what am I going to make the towers out of that is going to distinguish it or make it stand apart from the rest of the building? And on the pick-a-brick wall, they had lightsaber swords that are in translucent blue. I thought, what am I going to make the roof out of that's going to be different, right? Because they make slopes that are generally used for roofs, but I was like, I want to make something that looks like aluminum or, dark colors. And I bought 64 teal brick separators and turned them upside down and angled them to make the roof. And so that roof comes off really easily, but it's really fun because I don't think I've ever used brick separators in a build ever. Like it's a tool, it's not used for building, right? And so I'm like, all right, that's gonna be fun. There's a guy that has a really cool technique I found on YouTube where you take the window pane and you take 8 of these translucent sloped pieces in all these different colors, and you kind of just stick them together, but they're not stuck together on studs. They're just suspended into the window pane by itself. And so they all hold each other in there. It's really delicate, actually. If you build with a Lego set, it's generally pretty structurally sound. But if you're gonna do something custom, and then you're gonna display it, you gotta figure out a way to transport it. And transporting these are not easy. And so I actually built them all in sections that then they all come together for a display like this, because it's not actually super strong. This castle, you have to transport the entire thing together, and that one comes apart in sections that can lay down flat a box, and it's not too bad. These are engine block pieces for cars, and I turned them on their side and turned it upside down. So this whole piece doesn't support anything on the structure, but it's all cosmetic. And this is what I started the whole thing from. And this is actually super strong. This is really strong. I ran piping and the lightsaber sticks through the middle of this, so this won't fall apart at all. And then my buddy Cody custom made these monks that are on the stairs. And I was like, oh my gosh. So the guy at the top of the stairs is reading from the sacred Jedi text. So yeah, it's just a lot of fun. I love the castle theme a lot. I love it.
What I've got here is a series of models that I've done mashing Star Wars with World War II. I want to say it was 2021 is when I first started working on them. Because at the time, I had never done an airplane before. Like, the curves of an airplane in Lego is not easy. And I had to figure out my own style to approximate the look. I personally think it's important that art continue to draw on the past. For one, we know what's tried and true and makes good stories. And two, there are certain events in history that need to be constantly brought to the forefront and we need to be constantly reminded of so we don't make the same dumb mistakes. One of the fun ones was actually this fella over here that I paired with Darth Vader's TIE Advanced. In learning the history of the air war in Europe, one of the fun things was after the Battle of Britain, it was a constant back and forth across the English Channel between the Royal Air Force and the Luftwaffe, and it was an arms race. They were always trying to improve their airplane designs, and it was back and forth until the FW-190, the Focke-Wulf FW-190 came on the scene, and it was just a completely new aircraft that wiped the floor with everybody. And it actually got the nickname the Butcher Bird. And that just kind of paired well with Darth Vader's TIE Fighter, which is just above and beyond better than the regular Imperial fighter. I would recommend looking up the Instagram of a guy, his name is Nathan Cragen. These three are a collaboration between me and him. He did the fuselage for the P-51 and the FW-190 because I, at the time, was not confident enough to conquer those curves, although he did emulate my style. And so he did the fuselage, and then I added the Star Wars components because I wasn't confident enough to make the shapes. And so he made the fuselage, and then I got some help from another guy over Instagram with the wings, and I built the X-Wing engines and wings and added them on. But since I already had the fuselage, and since the E-Wing, the New Republic E-Wing, is like an upgrade from the X-Wing, I decided to take that same fuselage and just add different wings to it and different colorations and stuff. So those two are a collaboration between me and him. The cool thing is he took the fuselage and made it into a full regular sized, regular P-51 Mustang and put decals on it and colorations and stuff of a specific real life P-51. And we displayed them at Brick Slopes together last year. So he wanted to make a Focke-Wulf FW-190, a German plane, a specific one that P-51 that he had made shot down. And so I'm like, if you're gonna do that, would you give me the fuselage to that one too? And he's like, hell yeah. And so he gave me the fuselage and I added the TIE Advanced wings to it. So now at Brick Slopes, not only will we have two pair of twin planes, but a pair of twin dogfights. The stylized Star Wars blend dogfight and the reenactment of the real life dogfight. It's gonna be really epic.